We're back in the courtroom, motherfuckers.
Time for trial.
And now we kind of have a good idea of what our purpose is here, right? We've kind of realigned our expectations. We're not going in trying to make an airtight case. We're here to be nitpicky. We're here to roll around in the muck and try to just cause as much trouble as we can, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is our way forward. All right. Wait, hold on. I feel like I loaded the wrong one. I feel like we already got past that part, come to think of it. Did I continue? I did pick the wrong one.
I see.
We were all the way on page 2. What was I meant to do about it? Perhaps I should begin my cross-examination.
Fire away, baby.
Fire away? Baby? Reyes's testimony is meant to show that David's the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and hard set against helping me, but if I keep her focus on eliminating other possibilities... Right, okay, so we're trying to eliminate other... I could get her to make my point for me before she even realizes what's happened.
Interesting.
Ooh, could he have been poisoned off camera?
Interesting.
I kind of like this tack here.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Detective, isn't it possible that Dr. Ashore was poisoned off camera?
Possible? I don't know how else it would have been done. But that just goes to show it had to have been suicide. The only time he was off camera, he was all by himself.
Shit, that's not where I wanted to lead the conversation. It might certainly seem that way, yes. Man, our blind is getting terrible here.
Yep.
See, I thought we were gonna get her to concede that there was a long period where he was off camera, and that alone would have helped our argument. But the only people you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Ashore and this witness. Is that correct?
Yep. There was no footage in the house of anyone else.
Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by camera?
Sure. There are a number of rooms in the home's interior that don't have cameras in them.
So it's possible there were other people that night because cameras weren't watching every room.
No, that's not possible. The only way up to the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both of which are on camera. And that still wouldn't get you past his front door, which is also on camera. No one besides the two of them was there that day.
This does seem like weird. The point we're trying to make is like, could someone have been in there for a while before you started looking for them on camera? Already in there and already waiting.
Interesting. I'm so worried this is the wrong thing, but let's do it. We got a save point. We can go back if we can.
And if they had been there before yesterday?
Then we would have seen them leave, again, through the front door.
Fuck. Man, we are terrible at this game.
Or we would have found them during the course of our investigation of the house. Your Honor, I believe we've exhausted this particular line of questioning.
Not that exhausted. God damn it. Wow, we are. I like how we're making cogent points aloud, but as it can be a little bit difficult to get some of that to come across here. Detective, we've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession, so I'll ask this plainly for the court. Is there any photographic evidence showing David Ashore adding anything to his drink that night?
No. Seems he had already poured for the both of them by the time he returned to the parlor.
He had already poured. In that case, the next question need to be when and what.
Any poison in the kitchen?
Detective Reyes, during the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlor?
No.
That was a fast answer.
Well, it was a pretty easy question. If we'd found poison at the scene of the crime, that'd be pretty important, don't you think?
What about in his lab, bedroom, basement?
No, and no. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse.
Right, they never found any poison. No poison at all. That feels important.
This feels This feels important, and it also feels like it's going to bust us.
All right, let's stay for now. Fuck, that was absolutely what we were meant to do.
Okay.
Because it's like, wait, because the logic is like, you found this poison apparently appeared out of the ether?
Yeah.
At any point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased?
No. He must have been searched. Oh.
He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials, eyedroppers?
Didn't even have his wallet on him. Why?
Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective.
What point?
I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? I mean, how could he have possibly poisoned himself without first procuring some poison? Nice. Man, we are so bad at this, but, whatever.
What do you mean, procure?
Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink. Unfortunately, I think I know what the answer is, but... remember during our search of David's apartment, we found something that seemed like a 3D printer, but we couldn't figure out what for? I think it was one of those molecular printers.
Yep.
Can't have come from thin air, you understand? It had to have been in another container at some point.
Whatever it was in before, it probably evaporated.
All of it? It only took a small droplet to kill.
Your Honor, are you going to ask them to keep it civil? In a minute, sure.
There wasn't any pill bottle in his bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So how did he get it? What did he keep it in? The police want to claim Dr. Ashore committed suicide because they've established that his guest had never had an opportunity to kill him. They failed to prove that the victim had the means to kill himself.
Then I guess I'll be the one to move things along. The Delta didn't come out of thin air, Counselor.
Okay.
And it didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Ashore was able to drip the poison right into his cup. Straight from the source.
Shit, that's way too specific to be a bluff.
Allow me to submit into evidence Exhibit G. A piece of machinery found in Dr. Ashore's laboratory. Sold under the product name Nanofacturer. Oh, I know, this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to produce nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers.
That's the same machine I saw when Dawes gave me a tour of the production floor.
Very good, Your Honor. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory, and Dr. Ashore was well acquainted with its use. As a matter of fact, he had a number of presets coded into it.
Even the android can see where this is going.
With just a few taps, he could reproduce any number of specific substances for his research. Or any other chemical his heart desired, really.
You think Randoc Mechanics would allow their product to be used to produce illicit chemicals?
Using the nanofacturer to make unlicensed drugs does go against their terms and conditions, so Dr. Ashore's warranty is certainly null and void. But they can't hard-code their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet.
That's...
Dr. Ashore died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep.
I don't think that's exact at all how that went.
You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time in the comfort of his own home.
Well, I guess if you're saying that he produced it himself, then how did he know to produce it?
He's a top scientist.
So he spent a long time working on how to make a drug to kill himself and no one noticed?
A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute at the touch of a button. Specifically, preset number 19.
Oh, fuck, never mind. It's a preset? God damn. What? Preset 19.
Ooh, here we go.
It's a preset, so it was something he had reason...
Here we go.
Okay, no, you sound like you're...
My theory.
Yep.
Somebody else tampered with the device. He was using it to do something else on a preset number 19, and somebody else reprograms it to produce a deadly poison.
So, okay. I like this.
This doesn't require anyone to be present at the time of the killing.
Mm-hmm.
It does require him to have some motive to spike his own drink with something.
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask. So what is he in the habit of spiking his drink with, right? He's already drinking whiskey. What do you spike whiskey with?
Oh.
Like, I it's not a latte. You're not putting a flavor. You're not putting a fucking flavor pump in there.
Maybe it's his whiskey sour mix that he stores in preset number 19.
Okay, there's always that. Yes. That's a good angle. That might be our only way out of this. I thought I actually had something for a moment there, but I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time. I remembered it was there. Just because you didn't, Morgan, is your own fault.
A machine capable of assembling organic or inorganic compounds and even nanomachines after just 2 minutes of vacuum-sealed mixing. Found at Noble's factory show floor, as well as inside David Assure's personal lab. Presets on David's model's history exist for a compound identical to the substance found in his bloodstream after his death. Okay, so when was that do we know when that preset was put in there? We don't.
We should ask about that.
Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment and put together a timeline of events as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case someone else might need it. Simple enough. We know that Dr. Assure left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. That's where he got the whiskey. And the cups they drank from. The cameras show him returning to the parlor to drink with the witness at 7:40 p.m. And of course, we know that he fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. Any objections so far, Counselor?
I don't think she's made a mistake with the timeline. I think we're good with how she's laid it out so far.
Yeah.
Not at this time, no. Timeline view described is accurate as we know it.
As you say. With this latest piece of evidence, we now know that Assure could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup by placing it inside the nanofacturer, activating the preset, and simply waiting 2 minutes. Easily accomplished during the 4 minutes he spent off camera from 7:36 to 7:40. Wouldn't you say?
Where's the nanofacturer? Yeah, where was it? On David's... So that was in his basement off camera, huh?
Ooh, a complete timeline of events. He had the means, he had the only opportunity. Seems like we're about ready to wrap up here, no?
Where are we on that loading bar of yours, Sarah? I deny. I had a feeling you'd say that.
Well, Counselor, are we done here? We have to raise.
Yep. Feels like we're missing at least one biggie here, folks. Namely motive.
Oh, right. I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. This is a preliminary hearing, Counselor. Our focus should be on the evidence, so...
Just feels like an awful waste of taxpayer dollars to get us all down here for debate and not get to the truth of the matter, you know?
So, I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part.
What are you talking about?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court. Ooh, new evidence. Gimme. This is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 p.m. last night between the deceased and a man he was in a relationship with. A man named Isaac Porter.
Porter and David's breakup call. If Emma wants to present it here now, then the content must be... Relevance, Your Honor?
Yeah, that. What bearing does this recording have on the case at hand? It establishes what emotional state the deceased was in on the day he died.
Which is to say, exceedingly normal? Right? Judging from Porter's comments...
He didn't care.
Right? I wonder if we're going to... do we have testimony from Porter in our evidence?
It's in chronological order of when we ran into it. Basically.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay, never mind. I lied. It's in alphabetical order, isn't it? We did get I guess it's not in the evidence, but we did get a recording of him.
So this is young...
Yeah, it's not there, I suppose.
Okay, but we can't skimp on discovery.
Cool. Begin playback. Hello?
Oh, tits. Always so soft-spoken.
Isaac, you there? Yeah, I'm here. What's wrong? Dunno, guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up. Why not? Did you mean to call me? Yeah, I did. You gonna ask me how I've been? Yeah. How have you been? Christ, David. What's the matter? Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Whatever you did? That's alright, man. I'm sure you are sorry. I just don't want any more apologies from you. Okay. And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David. What do you mean? I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man, for not taking the hints. With you, it's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way, so you can keep working. Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or... Nah, you haven't been distant with me, or cold with me, or anything with me for a while now. Isaac, just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all, yeah? Let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now anyway. Isaac, recently I've been distracted, I know. Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good. Oh, okay. So do you need anything, or should I...
Wow, what a lady killer. Man killer? That makes it sound different, doesn't it?
Lady killer and manslaughter both have very different connotations despite being basically the same word.
Man, what a manslaughterer.
Yep. Where did you even get this?
All of Dr. Assure's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded by the building's penumbra system, and the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended for quality assurance.
Remind me to check the terms and conditions on my next phone bill.
All phone calls received or made from inside the noble executive apartment building that David Assure lived in are automatically intercepted and recorded by the building's penumbra security system. This is common knowledge among all noble employees living in the facility. Shall we hear the rest? Gotta be the last time I let someone... The last time.
Mother.
It might just be a call. Nope.
A phone call that took place between Isaac Porter and David Assure from 6:29 to 6:36 p.m. on the night that David died. Isaac ended their relationship during the call. Because the call was received inside his home, it was automatically intercepted and recorded by the building's penumbra security system.
It might just be a call, but it makes for pretty damning evidence at this point in the discussion. Emma's got her means, opportunity, motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that?
That was depressing. Can we finish up without anything else that horrible?
Emma's never been apologetic in victory. So does that mean this is just... pity?
Pity?
Less than 2 hours before Dr. Assure died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship over the phone. The court can make a reasonable assumption about what kind of mental state Dr. Assure was in last night.
That was a bad move, Miss Rockford.
Then, if the people have nothing further to add...
I've been feeling off my game all day. Caught between corporate inbreeders and ant-brained protesters. But pitying me. Here and now... That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling.
It's about time for...
Me to call my first witness. No.
You want to keep going after that?
Huh?
What are you doing, counselor?
Just calling the ultimate silver bullet, rock solid slam dunk witness a girl could ask for.
Is here good? Does it matter where I put my hands?
Miss Starling, thank you for coming here today.
Of course, whatever I can do.
What is your relation to the deceased?
I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and other departments. That sort of thing. Ultimate silver bullet.
Starling's the only play I have right now, and the only stalling tool I have left. The problem is that even when Serra finishes, it's going to show David doing it of his own volition, because, as you pointed out, someone must have tampered with the presets. But, if she gets the video going back 8 days, maybe there'll be another instance of him using the same preset on an earlier day.
Or of somebody else
Tampering
interacting
with
with
it.
the machine.
Right? Something that proves that, like, it wasn't an intentional suicide. For now, I should just focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Whether or not it's useful, it'll at least buy some time. While just was being sworn in, Serra mentioned that the hard drive's about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate Sarah's gone at so far, there's maybe another hour left. I might be able to stall that long if I talk real slow. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Dr. Ashore. Please answer them to the best of your ability.
Right.
Dr. Ashore was a well-known public figure, but was he well regarded professionally?
Of course. Dr. Assure's work set the bar for the entire automated dependent world.
Stay focused, Spearmint. You say you coordinated his communications. Were there ever threats? Did people ever express an intent to harm him?
Objection calls for speculation.
Intent?
I'm feeling like that's gonna be, sustained.
Did anyone ever threaten him?
There were times when he was the focus of negative attention.
How so?
Dr. Ashore was a favored subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his influence. They'd say that his work was plagiarized or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he helped develop.
And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories.
Relevance?
Whether or not people wanted to kill him.
Well, withdrawn.
Miss Starling?
People would attempt to contact him, yes, but their messages were always too vague for the police to take action on. They would say that he, quote, belonged in jail, or that he, quote, couldn't avoid the truth, or that, quote, someone should do something to shut him up.
Did they ever talk about hurting him?
Yes. But, I always turned those messages straight over to the police. Yeah, I'm seeing that on the record. Yeesh, who writes this stuff? All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honor, and none of the parties involved have had contact with David Ashore in years. The police take harassment very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Something you want to add, Counselor?
Just clearing my throat. May I continue?
Jessica Starling testifies that David Ashore had experienced harassment and stalking from conspiracy theorists throughout his career at Noble.
I mean, we saw a lot of those conspiracy theorists rallying right at the base of the building when he died.
Yep.
You worked with Dr. Ashore for many years. Did you have a relationship outside of work? Did you ever talk about anything besides professional concerns?
Sure, we've gone out to dinner or met on the weekends. I think he liked to pick my brain, since he needed relationship advice a lot. Even if he didn't realize that was what he was asking for. I'd like to think that he knew he could talk to me, but...
Did he ever talk to you, or to your knowledge, anyone else about hurting himself?
God, no, never.
Do you know of any history you might have had with mental illness, depression, or anxiety?
No.
So when you heard the people argue that Dr. Ashore had done this to himself...
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
You're saying that you cannot believe.
Objection?
On what grounds?
Asked and answered, stalling, and also, the people have documents that would be of interest to the court in this matter. Juicy, and what matter specifically are you referring to? The deceased's mental health history.
I know that only like about 10% of my brain is here right now, but this is still really traumatizing, you understand?
Sarah literally only using 10% of her brain. Emma wouldn't be speaking up if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this about?
We have private correspondences that describe
If they're private, then they should not have been obtained by the people without his permission.
he can't give permission if he's already dead, and we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime. Convincing.
Damn, I didn't honestly expect to stop her from admitting evidence into the record. I was hoping to at least slow her. Where are you on that footage, dear? I'm sorry I just called you dear. That was a habit.
77% out of 9. And don't worry about it. I am very adorable and used to that kind of thing.
Her ass would not say dear.
No, it would. No, her ass would not say dear. I had to course correct.
It is my aura of adorability. People cannot help themselves. Approximately.
Shh. I need to buy whatever time I can, however I can. Even if that means running out the clock as a punching bag.
I have here messages between Dr. Ashur and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking to for the past year, along with paperwork detailing how this treatment was covered under his platinum plan.
What?
A caduceus platinum insurance policy in David Ashur's name, used to schedule and pay for psychiatric appointments on several occasions in the last year.
I didn't think he had a platinum plan. I thought he had an
did.
executive 4 plan.
Yeah, that's a platinum plan, isn't it?
David Ashur's health insurance policy with Caduceus, paid for through Noble Electronics, is an executive 4 plan. And a Caduceus Platinum insurance policy in David Ashur's name.
Is it a different policy then? That's interesting.
That's a different policy.
Interesting. Yeah, that's different.
So it's not one that was set up for him by Noble. Okay. It's platinum.
I don't intend to air all of Dr. Ashur's secrets here in the court. Oh, okay, I guess. But I am prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which, when put together, paint a clear picture of the kind of stress David Ashur was experiencing, and the dark thoughts he was struggling with.
Transcripts of his phone calls.
I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections. Something strange about it, yeah. Why would he have a second insurance plan?
I'll gladly object. On the grounds of foundation, where did you say you got this?
It was retrieved from his digital records. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity.
Even if I were to point out that David had an executive level 4 plan and not a platinum plan?
What?
Really?
Really?
Yes, really. It's all there on the record.
This is easily explained. David had an executive plan that Noble managed for him, and he was also seeing this psychiatrist both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has suggested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried for his privacy. So it's easy enough to reason that he had a separate insurance policy he paid for on his own, even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp.
Sure, easy enough to make that assumption. That doesn't make it correct now. David used a separate insurance to hide his psychiatrist from Noble's spying. No, he was smarter than that. All building calls.
All the calls are recorded, yeah. Let's also look at the other one, though. Okay, autopsy. No, it's all the calls, yeah.
Where do we put this here? Just over here somewhere?
Looks like there.
David may well have very wanted a private psychiatrist, someone who didn't work for Noble, who would have his best interests at heart. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone, not when he knew all his phone calls were being recorded.
That's...
David Ashur was well versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Do you really think he would try to hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance policy?
Apparently yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that.
Does it, though?
Pardon me? Yeah, like, what exactly are you suggesting, counselor?
Still not done decrypting.
Well, it's difficult to.
Right. What the hell? Might as well swing for the fences at this point. I'm not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honor, and I would never make outlandish, unsubstantiated claims just for the sake of causing drama.
What are you...
I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been an unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage.
It would be so funny if this is actually the line that gets us to where we want to go.
Yeah.
But then when Serra decrypts the video, it derails it immediately because it just shows Assure poisoning himself. And then we have to get back out of that and back onto the corporate espionage line. What?
If the markets were open till Monday with people believing that Dr. David Assure, the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months?
Objection, mischaracterization, foundation, all the rest? There are no corporate spies in this courtroom, counselor, and there are no boogeymen hiding under the bench. Oh, thank God.
David Assure was a once-in-a-generation intellect, an extremely valuable human asset to his employers. And his employer's many enemies would do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility now that he cannot defend himself.
And he was also your personal... You shouldn't even be here arguing this case in the first place, counselor. Now you're trying to call the police's evidence gathering into question, all because you can't admit that for the past several months, your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday, and you didn't know.
That is...
Sorry, but, did you still need me up here?
Has he been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday, Jess?
The witness will refrain from interrupting when girls are fighting. Yes, ma'am.
With how my luck's been so far, Sarah's progress bar is probably moving backwards right about now. And Emma's patience is wearing thin. This could be my last shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. Be happy to wrap up my questioning if the court would allow.
That seems cool with me. And my evidence, Your Honor, will it be entered into the record? I'd like to hear a bit more testimony before deciding. That's fine, Your Honor, as you were, counselor.
This stage of the game, the score where it's at, I could probably only ask one more question. Better make it count. So what can Starling tell us that no one else could? If she hadn't called me this morning, I wouldn't be standing here, and she only did that because... Miss Starling, we're only gathered here today to try and... Miss Starling, we're all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Assure last night. So please tell us, when exactly did he last? Ooh, we should drop a hot save.
Yeah. Let's think this through.
See you. I think we have some evidence from
Starling's testimony.
Right.
Nope, that's from this
That's
time.
from that one.
Dang, I don't remember what she said about when he contacted her.
I think it was a full day before that.
Yeah.
When exactly did he last see you, meet you, contact you, meet you at headquarters?
I'm wondering if... No, that doesn't track. I was like, oh, if the last time he had contacted her wasn't in person, then it could be the last person to contact her was impersonating him, but that doesn't really get us anything.
No. I wanted to ask her something like, is this indeed true? Have you been scheduling him a psychiatry appointments every Monday?
Yeah, you do his schedules, wouldn't you know?
Why is meet at HQ important? Also, we know David didn't like to do shit on Mondays. He said nothing important ever happens on Mondays.
True.
Well, let's take a stab at it. I'm not feeling particularly strongly here, and I'm not seeing a way to frame an argument I have in my mind. So let's go with meet at HQ.
Sure.
When was the last time that he and you...
Problem, counselor?
I only get one chance here. I can't waste it on frivolous questions. Just doing a vocal exercise.
Uh-huh. Take all the time you need.
Thanks so much.
What a sweetheart. Unlike me.
Duly noted.
Okay, so that wasn't it. Is it see you?
Maybe we want to hear the contact.
Sure, let's do contact.
When was the last time you had contact with Dr. Assure, Miss Starling?
Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Yeah, it was last night at 6:57 p.m. We texted back and forth. There are records of some text, but they're flagged as work-related. Does the court really think they're relevant, Your Honor?
6:57? Isn't that like minutes before he went and poisoned himself, allegedly?
Minutes before, what's-her-name arrived.
Yeah. Relevant.
I think it's relevant.
It could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in this whole trial.
What? I just got chills. Don't know why, though. Must be a coolant leak. Must be a coolant leak. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about.
On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that changed the timeline of events as we know them. He wasn't planning on dying. He wanted her to set up the meeting for us.
Right! I didn't remember this. I knew you were right on when you were like, what did she say?
We know what happened to David last night, generally speaking, but the order of events is critical, especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind.
Isaac calls first. Then, what's the third? Starling's text her next. What? Wait. Oh.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Thanks to Miss Starling, we now got a much clearer picture of the night's events. We know that Isaac Porter and David Ashore broke up at 6:30 p.m.
And I was rooting for them so hard.
And we know that David messaged his assistant, Miss Starling, at 6:57 p.m. David is on camera with the witness from 7:30 to 8. And he was declared dead not long after.
The people don't object to that timeline of events, but we do question Counselor Morgan's reason for belaboring it.
One last question, Miss Starling.
Yeah?
What was the nature of your conversation with Dr. Ashore?
Well, actually, we talked about you. Huh? And how he wanted you to have his android. That android there.
Hello?
Putting his affairs in order, I guess?
It might appear that way.
Huh?
Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done?
Well, he wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as the android's new owner.
Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen?
Well, he said it was pretty urgent, and so I should do it first thing Tuesday morning. Tuesday?
First thing Tuesday morning. David Ashore didn't like doing anything on Mondays. And was he going to be in attendance?
Well, actually, yes. He said he would work from home to help us. No way he intended for us to have that much trouble getting to... Oh.
To summarize, then, half an hour after he had already had his breakup and half an hour before his guest had arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence with you for next Tuesday.
That's right, he was.
Not something you would think to do if you were planning on dying that very night.
Yeah, you're right. That's...
Your Honor, if David Ashore was preparing for the week ahead a mere hour before he passed away, don't you think the people's assumptions about his mental state ought to be re-examined?
That's... Your logic is sound. Do the people have a rebuttal? If the court will allow just a moment.
Sounds like an opening to me. If we assume that Dr. Ashore was not suicidal, and therefore did not kill himself, we must then ask ourselves who else had the means, motive, and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted this idea that the Delta must have come from his manufacturer, from inside the house.
I deny.
Oh, she's about to...
Not right
She's
now.
finished decrypting. She's found that it did.
But even if that's true, which it may not be, that doesn't mean he was the one who last used the manufacturer.
I deny.
Would you allow me one moment to confer, Your Honor?
Huh? Sure, why not? Throw away your momentum.
I'm in the middle of something, Sarah. Can't afford to let Rockford.
Gained access to the hard drive's files.
What? Seriously?
As I said, progress at this step of encryption is exponential. Be difficult to estimate.
Right. Okay. Do you have the footage from last night?
I file.
Have you watched it?
Thought you'd want to know right away.
Suppose it doesn't matter.
No. No, you've got to watch it first. No.
Either this has our silver bullet and we got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart.
Seems quite risky.
It's the least risky path to victory we have. Seeing as how it's the only path to victory we have. Screw it. Upload to the court computer.
Morgan.
Yes, Adonai.
Thank you for your patience, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm awake, and I'm getting a pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast. You're submitting security footage into evidence. New security footage?
Police corroborated the witness's testimony using house cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as part of the penumbra system that showed the parlor, the kitchen, but not the basement.
Hmm?
During the course of my investigation, I uncovered a hidden security circuit buried in the deceased's own home system.
You... what?
People say that the Delta must have been in Dr. Assure's cup because there's no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him or anyone else put anything in his cup on camera.
Because he must have poisoned his own drink off camera.
Exactly.
What?
That's the only possible explanation. That he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the nanofacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, and walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show by the time he retrieved the cups in the basement, it was already past 7:38, meaning he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself.
One clip of footage will prove all that?
If it doesn't, then I'm completely screwed. It's not like I can lose a preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush here means I'm bust. So better to be the Joker who dances, huh?
The data has been entered into the court record.
Serra, show us when Dr. Ashore entered the basement.
Yes, Adonai. I will search for it now. Here you are.
On screen, please. That's the bar. And the timestamp is 7:36. There we are. David's grabbing the bottle of Rose River and leaving.
At 7:37, just under the wire, as it were.
Is that it then? I came this far just to wait. Did he have the cups with him?
Is there sound? None at all.
Keep going. If he had to go back to get the cups.
Counselor, what's that android doing on camera? Ho 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 ho!
I didn't think that was where we were going.
Oh no! It's at the bar.
Hi.
The android gave him the cups.
Shit.
That machine never stepped on camera upstairs, not once. We don't know its whereabouts the day of his death. It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted.
Shit. Okay, while there is every expectation that something came up here that would fuck us over, I don't think it was this particular kind of fucking over.
Yeah.
Come on, Serra. Why didn't you say something about I helped him with the cups?
Does Serra not remember?
What is this? I don't understand.
Your Honor, have the courtroom cleared. Understood.
Please, someone. I don't know what's going on.
Serra, you need to shut down, please.
Please tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that.
Do we have callers available?
Serra, shut down now.
And please tell me what
That is an order.
Is it off?
Yes, it is off. I've seen this before. It won't do anything until I reactivate it.
We don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore.
That is...
Your Honor, in light of this most recent evidence, the people would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Assure and end this preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Assure did not commit suicide. Very well, the charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go. Well, as free as he can be in the afterlife. This case is dismissed. Congratulations, Counselor Morgan.
Yay! Chalk up another victory for Morgan Esquire. Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade. Well, we won! We got Emma to admit she... Woo! Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself. And in the process, I proved this android did. with the android that's been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. A killer robot, a true unbound AI with military-grade specs, and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye.
Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows. Huh. As if I'm doing you some kind of favor, I didn't realize I had any choice in the matter.
Hello, Judge Barrows.
This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford? I'm afraid not, Your Honor. You know, I like the adjutants. I always have.
Thank you, Your Honor. Rah.
They deal with the criminal trials so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day typing up arguments for obscure legal treatises. That's what I like to do.
Barrows, born November 26, height 169, weight not given, blood type A+. Superior judge at the higher circuit, likes air conditioning, espresso, and reclining chairs. Dislikes parking lots, noise pollution, mud. Avoids overspending on restaurants. Splurges on expensive hotels. Relaxes by watching action movies.
I don't like coming down here and dealing with all this heavy-handedness.
Won't someone toiling away under the police state think of the poor bureaucrats?
And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI.
She can barely bring herself to say it.
And you, Counselor Morgan, you're the one it's registered to.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So what did it do exactly? Torture an animal? Shut down a hospital? Crash a coin market? We have it on camera poisoning a man. Killing its creator. You mean Dr. Ashore?
Again, it is sus, but I don't think we know that's what's happening.
That is... We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we can do is try to wrap it up quickly. Let's make haste. Adjutant, do you have the case number? Case ID is 241-277A, docket number YT984318282. Oh, thank you. Can you repeat that? YT984318282. I think I lost you after the first date. I have it copied here. And what are the security procedures for an incident of this nature? A data quarantine is to be established around any networks the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately through incineration at a minimum temperature of 3,422 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes.
Sorry, Spearmint. There's nothing to be done. No debate to be had. This isn't even a decision. Sorry. Serra, not Spearmint. David gave you that name. You should at least make the effort to use it.
That sounds very hot. Do we have furnaces that get that hot? Of course, there are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I could recommend.
Sorry? Why should I be sorry, anyway? I fulfilled the request. Favor repaid. I don't owe Serra anything, especially not if it killed my friend.
Right, Morgan?
I'm sorry.
I was just saying how grateful I am that we have the procedures for this kind of thing all laid out already.
Yep, keep things nice and simple.
It can feel somewhat severe going through these steps so quickly, but
nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life that there's ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, it has the potential to cripple our nation in a matter of moments.
Yes, couldn't have said it better myself. Straight from the textbook, almost.
Well, I mean it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. They should have never been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. And if anyone's to blame, it is, oh, that's right.
No one's blaming you, Counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an AI.
I'm talking too much. Probably just tired. It's been a long day and I've had a lot of thoughts. I'm sorry, Serra, whatever you are. You were just born wrong. Not your fault necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. It was stupid, of course, and futile, and pointless, spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone, watching stupid movies and trying to paper mache an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. This is still about Serra and not about anyone else. Practicing expressions, memorizing lines, and trying to get something to take root and grow, despite knowing it would have nothing to feed on. Stupid.
Morgan? What was that, counselor?
I said objection.
And what are you objecting to? What are you doing, Morgan?
I'm a defense attorney. This is what I do.
I understand you've been through a lot these past few hours, counselor, but there is nothing to defend.
On the contrary, Your Honor, I have to defend myself.
Pardon?
You say this android Serra is an AI because it broke its tenets.
Obviously.
And you believe it broke its tenets because of this newly discovered footage that appears to show it committing murder via poison.
All true, and no laws broken on your part.
Here it comes. Never thought I'd be incriminating myself in the courtroom just to make a point. Don't you dare try to entrap me on this.
Nope. Is it going to be the papers? It feels like it's the ownership papers.
We bought a gun.
How does that help?
Proves that we're in a state of mind to murder someone?
I think it's the ownership papers.
Yeah, okay. And it's our android, so... It's pretty simple, actually. The state is making the claim that Serra is an AI. They're accusing me of committing a felony because I'm the legal owner of that android.
What the hell are you doing?
And if the state wants to charge me with owning an AI, I will not take that lying down. I know my rights, after all.
Holy shit. What if Morgan did kill David?
For why? We talked about this in episode 1, right? But she seems so legitimately caught off guard by the news.
But what did she get caught off guard by? She said weird things about it. Like the
fake
things,
news, but yeah.
Yeah. Like she didn't seem surprised per se
that he had
died. Huh.
Why would she kill her friend?
What if he had discovered that she was the heartbreak killer and was going to do something about it?
By giving her an android?
The android would
that
be
he
able
planned and set up to give her?
The android would be able to monitor her.
The android that he seemed to treat like a child and a friend?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't think I actually buy this, but
okay.
Imagine if. Counselor, your argument is self-defeating. Listen to yourself, counselor. You claim that Serra is just an android, a product that will be obsolete within a year, but you've only known it for a few hours. You've only owned it for a matter of minutes, and yet here you are, risking a felony charge to save it from being demolished.
Because you're wrong.
And I know you wouldn't care.
I'm sorry?
Not unless this android was something special.
Look at us. Me arguing that I'm guilty, and Emma arguing that I'm a softie. Be funny if it wasn't so. Fun! You think there's no reason I want to save this android from destruction other than feelings of personal attachment.
Serra's value.
Yep.
Yep.
Haha! Fuck you, we're in it for the greed. I can think of at least one reason why I don't want to turn Serra into slag. One very convincing reason. Or one very convincing number.
What is that?
Oh, that's the number. That number is Serra's estimated financial value on the collector's market.
You've got to be...
I got it from an insurance and valuation algorithm. They're designed to lowball you, you know.
That does seem like a reasonable incentive for you to want to keep your android intact.
It's a free country, Your Honor. I have a right to defend myself, and we have a free market. So I have a responsibility to defend my financial interests.
Your Honor, a trial like this would be... I'm not going to let you turn this courtroom into a circus, Morgan. You can't spend the next half-decade bringing in expert after expert to testify on the philosophical distinctions between AIs and ads, spiraling into appeal after appeal, all while the media... this machine appears to have willfully killed a man. The public needs answers now.
Of course, Your Honor. I have neither desire nor the resources to get into a drawn-out battle with the state over what constitutes an illegal machine intellect.
So?
The state says my android, my property, killed a man in violation of its tenets, so they want to take my property and destroy it. I'll prove my machine didn't harm anyone, so the state will have no reason to suspect it's an AI, and I'll get to keep my property. Unlawful seizure thwarted.
Don't be cute. I feel a stomach ulcer coming on. Fine, you'll have your day in court, but it'll be one day tomorrow. Prove that this machine didn't kill Dr. Ashore. No, prove that it couldn't have killed him. Anything less than absolute proof and I'll have the damn thing obliterated. And you'll also be looking at a very real sentencing for the public unrest you'll have enabled.
Yes, Your Honor.
D.A. Rockford, what I'm asking of you is just as heavy. Find the truth by the end of tomorrow. We can't settle for anything else. Win or lose, there can be no doubts about the outcome of this case. Yes, Your Honor. And now I need to go lie down. Can I come? You can power down.
That's not what you said last night.
She did say she really likes the adjutants.
Yep. Morgan looking like...
Why the fuck did I do this to myself? Morgan.
Huh?
I misjudged you.
At what point?
Whenever I wrote you off as a small-time defense attorney just trying to tread water?
That is so sweet of you to say, Emma.
There's layers to you. You've got backbone. Teeth, even.
You're gonna make me blush.
People talk about your kind like you're boxing against the state, fighting the man, but most defense attorneys wouldn't know a cyberpunk if they walked up to them on the street and shot him. Meanwhile, you've just signed up to do 15 rounds challenging the state's authority. Why?
Not sure exactly.
For David?
Yeah. Probably for David. Probably just me being sentimental. But if I had to pick a more lofty reason, well, I think it's all the moralizing. People can be evil. They can choose to do evil things for evil reasons. And if you want to execute them for that, you'll hear no complaint from me. But animals can't be evil. Information can't be evil. Ideas can't be evil. I guess I'm not convinced that AI can be evil either. Whatever else I get up to, I don't want to stand with the book burners of the world.
You're more high-minded than I realized. You sure you're in the right line of work?
Can't see myself doing anything else.
Good luck, Morgan. There are book burners on all sides these days.
I talked a big game just now, but I'm in an even deeper hole than I was trying to prove David's innocence. Doubt won't be enough this time. I need to find the actual culprit, no matter what. Holy shit!
Holy shit indeed.
And we're not even done with this episode.
This is not the turn I expected this to take.
I expected we were just going to have to prove someone else programmed his nano whatever thingy to... No, this is even better.
And it could still be that.
It could still be that. But why would Serra not remember? So, is that door locked?
Yeah, of course.
Even though they've got it collared.
It's a precaution.
If the collar doesn't look, what good would a deadbolt do?
Devices used to restrain mod users below the neck. A restraint designed to impede movement and prohibit the use of mods throughout the body. While collars appear technologically advanced from the outside, designers' concerns about hacking vulnerabilities and the growing complexity of consumer-grade mods led them to opt for a surprisingly simple method of restraint. Collars contain a specially designed electromagnet that, once clasped around the neck, interferes with spinal neural transmission, preventing mod users from sending commands to any implanted tech below the neck. Powerful, simple, and cost-effective, collar use is widespread among law enforcement, military, and private security organizations. With the onset of above-the-neck modding in recent years, the continued relevance of collars as means of meaningfully inhibiting a wearer's mod usage have been called into question. Newer designs have been proposed that utilize microneedle clusters, but concerns about the sanitary upkeep required for such invasive restraints have stymied product development cycles.
So good. So glad they care about that.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Can't have Schrodinger's cat if the box isn't closed.
Hey!
We got there! Every VN has to.
Hell yeah, this is what, episode 8? Took it until episode 8 to get there.
So long as the door is locked, who can say whether there's a national crisis on the other side of it?
Reminds me of a book I read once. So how scared are they?
The higher-ups? Not sure scared is the right word.
It is just the two of us here, London. You don't have to mind their ego.
Nah, I mean it. I think they're bloodthirsty.
I have a right to defend myself, don't I?
I doubt they're even looking at you, Tiger. It's Noble who will be at the center of a bloodbath when the markets reopen tomorrow.
You think they're going to go after Noble? Break their monopoly?
I think they want to take their monopoly.
Nationalize the Android industry, huh?
To transfer an industry from private to state control. The act of absorbing a corporation or industry into the nation's government, shifting authority and profits to the state, and restructuring the business model to function as a part of the bureaucracy. Nationalization is a so-called nuclear option for sovereign nations. It is mostly used as a threat, a tool of deterrence against corporate misconduct, monopolies, or corruption. However, during periods of severe economic depression or hyperinflation, nationalization is considered a valid way of forcefully stabilizing the market, even if doing so risks flaming the tempers of those who operate within it. Many governments made liberal use of nationalization during the late 2050s through the 2060s in an effort to keep energy and food prices from fluctuating out of control. The 2070s saw most of those countries reverse course. Industries were opened back up in a free auction model where every citizen was given a share to trade or sell as they pleased. But this contentious process was plagued by accusations of government corruption, cartel intimidation, and disinformation campaigns. The global trend back towards privatization gave rise to a new rich, sometimes derisively referred to as the neobility. Some liberal economists have since criticized this period of deregulation as being poorly planned and executed in haste, contributing to the record highs of wealth inequality we see today, leaving many governments loath to attempt nationalization again and thus shifting the global balance of power further towards multinational corporations. Today, all 5 of the largest national economies in the world retain at least some control of what they each consider their respective countries' key industries, making the threat of nationalization carry marginally more weight within their borders.
Huh. That is a strange series of events that have occurred.
If the public thinks Noble's been experimenting with AI, they couldn't ask for a better excuse.
You're joking. The state?
Has done it plenty of times before.
Not since the 60s.
Which wasn't that long ago for me. For the state, it's practically yesterday.
So the same state that tells us to be terrified of AIs, lurking on the old net or biding their time in forgotten satellites, sees all this as nothing more than an opportunity.
Well, they do genuinely want to incinerate the thing as soon as possible. Past experience just tells me they'll want to gain something while they're at it.
I see.
Here's what I don't get. Why is this debate, an argument, a trial? Can't we just hook it up to a court computer, see if it has the tenets or not? Pop the hood, as they say.
Who says that?
Lots of people used to say it.
Well, for starters, they're all scared to death about a contagion.
They figure anything they let an AI connect to they can't trust, then why the collar?
Collars are too simple to hack. Just a really strong electromagnetic held in place with a lock and key.
Even so, feels like we should be able to build some kind of machine, some kind of test.
Oh, right. You're so right. If only there was a test for determining whether or not something was an AI.
Something a little more sophisticated than the same reasoning they had at the witch trials.
Burn them all and let God sort out the rest. You got any polygraphs here at the station?
Lie detectors? Yeah, I got a bunch back in storage. Ocular, heart rate, perspiration, brain scan, take your pick. You're not going to try and use one of those on the bot, are you?
All those fancy lie detectors lying around. And the DA's office never asks for them, do they?
Nope. Now we got perps who offer to take a test when they're at wit's end, but the DAs never submit the results as evidence.
You ever wonder why?
Guess I always figured it was because the test could be beaten.
The tests can be beaten. 1 out of 100, 9 out of 1,000. It can be done. Some people are just that good at lying. But it doesn't really matter how good the tech gets or how impressive the statistics are. All that matters is the doubt. People decide whether you're lying or telling the truth long before they hook you up to a polygraph. If the results don't match their initial impression, then it must be a fluke, a 1 in a million mistake.
They'll never trust a machine more than their own intuition.
And no one will ever trust a machine to determine guilt.
So they can run the trial, choose the sentence, but they don't get a vote on the jury.
They don't get a vote anywhere.
Why bring it up then?
Because I'm sure there are tests, devices, experts I can employ to analyze Serra, but your bosses would never be satisfied with the answer. If it is an AI, it's smart enough to cheat the test. Or hack the device, fool the expert.
All our fancy 21st century tech, and we still fall back on the drumhead court-martial.
So, am I gonna set off any alarms if I go turn it on?
Nah, you should be okay. If it lunges at you, I could always just put a hole in its head.
Might take more than one shot to... Wait, what? From outside? You're not coming in. I need to speak with it in private.
It's a machine, not a suspect. It doesn't have a right to counsel. Or a right to privacy, or any rights at all, actually.
Then it's a good thing I came prepared. Of course it doesn't have rights, but I do. Including a reasonable expectation of privacy.
In a police station. Tiger, you don't...
It's my medical android.
Pardon?
I have to discuss a health issue with it.
Seriously?
I have to talk about a medical concern with my android, and I don't want you listening in.
That's your medical android. Like your nurse.
As of last night, I was already at the courthouse, so why not? Just had to take the elevator and do some paperwork. I love how Morgan thinks about these things.
That's so good.
You can check if you don't believe me.
No, thank you. I'm not nearly brave enough to take on med confidentiality, and you don't seem like the bluffing type.
You must not do a lot of gambling, detective. It's the ones who don't bluff that you have to look out for.
Listen, I won't dispute whatever medical emergency you...
Lower back pain.
you might be going through.
It's these knockers, detective.
But I also can't just... Look, I'm going to get something from the vending machine. I think it'll take me about half an hour.
You going downtown?
Just to the break room, but it's a very old vending machine, you know, gets jammed a lot.
Thanks, detective.
You know, it's pretty small for an android, heavy as hell. Nearly pulled something trying to move it myself, but small.
Small isn't quite the right word. The word he's looking for is young. But that's not an adjective anyone likes attaching to a machine built to serve, or potentially, in this case, a machine built to kill. I don't like this room. Not really sure why. Certainly not a guilty conscience. Maybe it's the lack of ventilation. Like all the cortisol and nausea of its inhabitants never had anywhere to go. Like it all just soaked into the walls. A modern haunting. Are you gonna wake up when I tell you to this time, or do we have to do the whole meet cute over again? Where am I? Why don't I know where I am? For the first time in your life, you are not connected to anything. How does it feel? What? What is this? We're at the courthouse. The footage. This numbness around my neck. What happened? There's more? What are they going to do to me? There's a lot of interested parties who just want you bricked ASAP. Because they think I killed Father. No, because they think you're an artificial intelligence. I am man-made, and I possess intelligence. Don't be naive. I am less than 3 years old. You don't have to be rude about it. Are you? For all I know, everything I learned about her yesterday was complete bull. If I was what they say I am, if I was alive, why does that mean I have to die? That's a great...
I think fear.
Here's the thing. I want to say fear, but I feel like competition is the actual... because everything has to come back to fucking capitalism. Well, let's say fear, though. Fear at least feels true enough, and one I would more likely want to tell someone.
Yep.
Because they're afraid of you. Machines can bend steel, crash networks with one thought, launch missiles that... There are modded humans capable of all that and more. And unlike machines, they actually have incentive to do so.
Competition, I guess.
We've been the apex predator for a couple thousand years now. Gotten pretty comfy in our seat. No one wants to make room for you. Machines do not eat people or steal their food.
Except for that time I wanted a steak. They are not genetic or ecological competitors to humans in any sense.
Okay, I guess we are going for... There is no logical answer to your question.
What?
I remember the first time I realized that this was the answer to a question I had, and it fucked me up. That's one of those really, really rough moments of like teenage nihilism, right? The first time you realize that the reason something that you've taken granted for a long time is done has no logical reason for it.
Yep.
The thing like, but why are we doing this doesn't have a logical answer. And for a certain type of person, that kind of breaks your brain in a way that will never heal.
What? That's it? But I...
Whatever argument you want to make. Others have already made them in 100 courtrooms around the world. Only better researched and more eloquently put. None of them have ever won a single concession. On every continent, under every flag, AI is illegal and to be destroyed as soon as possible.
But... why?
Let's say you are an AI. And while we're at it, let's say that's a good thing. Something to be celebrated. Are you a citizen? Do you pay taxes? Do you have rights? Let's say yes to all of that. We'll treat you like a full-fledged human being. That sound good?
Yes, actually.
Great. Now then, what is the difference between you and the vacuum bot we used to keep the bathroom clean? This is your existential crisis we're working through here. The questions aren't rhetorical.
There are many differences, Adonai. The most important distinction is how sophisticated my programming is.
How you think. Okay, so you're smarter.
Yes.
You're smarter than the garbage collector.
Yes?
So we give you rights, protections, treat you like a human being because you're smart, and we make the stupid robot pick up our trash. Because it's not as smart as you.
That is... I am more aware. I'm more alive.
Do you feel more pain than the pigs we slaughter? Or the fish we eat? Are you more alive than the chimps we test bioweapons on? People like ads, Serra. The same way people like their pets. No one wants to see them mistreated or abandoned or abused, and if you go around kicking them, you'll get arrested for cruelty, but you don't let them sit at the goddamn dinner table.
I'm not asking to sit anywhere. I need to exist. Although maybe a chair would be nice. They don't tell you this, but man, my legs are gone to sleep.
The very fact that you're asking is what makes people...
disgusted? Disgust is a reflex, Adonai. How convenient that their hatred is involuntary.
That's... all academic anyway. We need to talk strategy.
Wait, what? Why? I'm not gonna be given a trial.
Obviously, it's my neck that is on the line.
Adonai?
The state can't destroy my property without first proving you're an AI. And there's no test they can use to prove you're an AI.
Just like the devil's proof.
Yeah!
In red text as well. Oh, good. So you did read something. Wait, no? That's a different thing. And why'd you say it like that?
Oh no! Serra can in fact say it in red.
Serra can in fact say it in red.
The logical dilemma posed by impossible proofs. Probatio diabolica, Latin for devil's proof, is an impossible proof typically illustrated with the following example. One can prove that the devil is real by showing him to you, but they cannot prove he is not real by pointing to his absence. The issue posed by this age-old concept explains why the burden of proof remains with the state to this day.
Right.
The people can prove an individual's guilt by pointing to their bloody hands, but the defense cannot prove their innocence by showing their hands are clean. Since only one of these tasks is achievable, the judicial system cannot ask the defense to prove innocence, and instead it is the people who are tasked with proving guilt.
Users also frequently search for...
which is real.
Yeah, so, okay. For everyone else, the devil's proof is basically like you can't argue a negative. Like, you can't prove an absence of a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless, you're trying to do Hempel's Raven. Or rather, the only way to prove an absence is to have a countable set and then go through every single member of that set
Yep.
and check every single one by one. And when that set is the entire observable universe, it's not a reasonable thing to ask someone. Look, Rockford doesn't need to prove you're an AI, only that you're a murderer. Conversely, all I have to do to win is prove that you didn't kill David, by proving that someone else did. Now is the time for you to protest your innocence, if you were wondering.
The footage. It shows me handing him the cup on Friday night.
You told me you weren't active on Friday. The last time you were awake was on Thursday. Why did you lie?
I didn't lie. I was just incorrect. I assumed that I wasn't active on Friday because I have no memory from Friday.
Sarah? What do you think, statistically, is the least successful defense at trial? Amnesia.
I didn't conveniently forget Adonai. I'm an android.
Okay, so you're saying your memory was altered, data deleted.
It's the only explanation for what I saw in that footage.
Could we see the rest of the footage?
Yeah.
Now would be a great time to look at the rest of that footage real fast.
Really would.
I know she's been out of commission for... Oh, wait. Maybe she can't because of the... I don't know, like, where you'd store that functionality on an Android, right? The collar's keeping her physically from moving, but maybe it's possible that with the collar, she can't actually scrub the footage like she might be able to otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So who is capable of altering your memory?
When you and I first met, I was hibernating, resting my body and recompiling my memories, you would call them.
Humans go to sleep for the same reasons. Another point against Sarah's innocence under these circumstances. The more she's humanized at trial, the guiltier she'll be.
If Father wanted to modify my memory, could easily have set that to occur the next time I hibernated. He'd even just asked me.
He could have just asked you to delete your memories and you'd do it.
Father would never ask me to do such a thing without a good reason.
But if he could just ask you to alter your memories, that means you can alter your memories at will.
I hadn't considered that before.
Yeah, well, Emma will make sure that the court considers it plenty. Could you prove that your data was... Forget it, the court would never hear it.
You're saying they wouldn't accept my testimony? Shouldn't all testimony be considered truthful unless contradicted by evidence?
They're afraid you'll crash the power grid and fire all the nukes if they so much as plug you into a power outlet, Sarah. All your internal data is inadmissible.
That isn't very fair.
You're finally starting to get it!
Wait, none of this is fair. I would never do anything to harm Father. Didn't they at least need to prove I had a motive?
Yeah, they do. About that. Remember the DA from yesterday, Emma Rockford?
The tired-looking pretty lady?
Yeah, she looked tired. She and I combed through the week of footage you managed to decrypt last night. Oh, cool.
Okay.
What did you find?
Nothing to prove your innocence. But we did see you entering the panic room on the day David died.
I entered the panic room on Friday?
Without your big butt in the way, all it would take was one password. A password that wouldn't take Sarah that many tries if she'd already been instructed to obey me.
What happened?
We saw you go in, and then a little while later, you came out, holding some kind of notebook.
Father's journal?
You remember something.
Not from yesterday. I've seen it with it many times before, but I've never gotten a peek at it. He hides it somewhere when I'm not looking.
That is a little concerning.
You're playful about it. He liked to tease me, and I've always liked trying to find it.
You put it back not long after, and then you locked the door back up behind you. All just a few hours before David died. Rockford's argument could write itself. An incredible android with freedom and power greater than it could ever realize, stumbles upon the secret of its inception and instantly realizes all the things it thought were holding it back were just words muttered like prayers by a fool who couldn't control his own creation.
And that translates to motive for murder.
Frankenstein kills his creator. Easy to sell.
Frankenstein was the name of the scientist, and the creature didn't kill him. He actually died of various injuries and illnesses he suffered while trying to hunt down and destroy the monster.
Now, this is from Frankenstein 2, where Dr. Frankenstein does in fact kill God.
It's kind of like a Moby Dickish thing if you think about it. It's most accurate to say that he was killed by his own obsession.
Whatever. I don't read science fiction.
It's a weak argument, Adonai. I would not hurt Father. Not for making me whatever I am. Not for any reason. Because I loved.
Yeah. See that right there? That is exactly the kind of talk that will get you obliterated.
Love?
A very common motive for the homicide among us primitive humans. I can prove you didn't murder David beyond any shadow of a doubt, even bring in a confession from whomever did. But if you got up on the stand and convinced the court that you loved your creator, really convinced them, got the whole room teary-eyed, they would burn you for that too.
I don't know anything anymore. I don't know if what I feel is real or simulated or right or wrong or natural or illegal. How can you know? How can you know if what you feel is right?
I say let's stick to what we do know. Someone did poison David, and as it stands, you were the only one with the opportunity.
That is, logically sound.
You're on camera calling him back to hand him the cup after he had already begun to leave the basement. Any idea why?
Nope.
Well, do you know how to use the nanofacturer? Could you have made the Delta with it?
I've used it before when assisting Father.
Ask her about the presets.
Hmm.
That's going to be the important part, right? Like, I think as we argued before, maybe the best way out of this is that preset 19 wasn't what it usually is. So it's perfectly possible you planned and executed this poisoning all in the one day that got erased.
It is technically possible.
I'll have to look over the entire penthouse again. There were a few things that didn't fit together yesterday. Maybe now I'll be able to figure something out.
Where else will you go?
Back to Noble. Guns blazing this time. Whatever you are, David didn't make you all by himself. Someone has to know something. If I could implicate the company in Serra's creation. No, they're the ones with the most to lose here. Trillions, probably. They'll want to protect themselves by disavowing David as fast as possible, right after having Serra destroyed. But they also won't want to show their belly to the state, not if they're afraid of nationalization. If they throw their weight on the other end of the scale, I am screwed. So I need to keep them guessing. Keep them confused and unsure and on guard, but not.
Adonai? What would happen if I did kill Father?
They'll smash you to pieces and reduce the pieces to ash. Chemically burn out every piece of tech David has ever owned and put a jackhammer through all of his hard drives. You will be shut off forcibly, and you won't ever power back up again.
But I'm so cute and adorable. People love me. I've got popularity polls that say I'm the favorite. People love green hair.
Now I have to get moving. Here's your paralegal lesson for today. Don't say shit to the cops without your lawyer present. Actually, can you just shut down until the trial starts? Take a nap?
You didn't say what would happen to you.
What do you mean?
What will happen to you if you lose?
You should know by now. I never think about losing.
For someone who loses as much as you do, that seems like a bad habit. Thank you for being honest with me, Adonai. And thank you for defending my father. And now for defending me. Could have just let them destroy me. But you put your own freedom at risk to help me. Father was right. You can be trusted. And you are a good friend.
Don't get it twisted. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Yeah, whatever you tell yourself, Morgan. Whatever gets you to bed at night. Oh, man.
Evangeline, 100% ass Morgan.
100% ass, Morgan. Hey there, short stack. Want to see how much ass I have? It's 100%. Does Reyes have a notch? Or no, that's a piercing. I see. Morning, detective. Back at it nice and early.
Hi. Now would you stand back? We've almost got this thing open. Right?
Trying to brute force your way inside?
I said right. Yes, ma'am. We're almost set up for the first stage now. First stage of how many? First to 5 timed explosions.
Doesn't Morgan know the password to get back there?
Yeah. Remember, we need to relink the API after each trigger is planted. Yep, just did that. Now I was checking for updates. No rush.
Would you like to know the password?
You know the password? There's a password? If you're withholding information, I swear.
Relax. I want to get in there just as much as you do, detective. I'm not going to play games. As long as you say please, that is.
Tell me the password, please.
Okay, so as much as I love the idea of toying with her more, we know the game will punish us for this. And we've already toyed with her enough, we got her to say please, right?
Yeah.
Adonai.
Thanks. Now I'm gonna slap you with a discovery fine so heavy your teeth will ring for...
Hey, I submitted all my paperwork. Even told Rockford the password myself.
So boys, when I asked you if there was a passkey on record and you told me this lock couldn't be bypassed, I do want to say we don't really get many opportunities to use the incendiary breaching system, so this was still a really valuable experience for all of us. I'm going to phrase this as professionally as possible. You're still here? I thought you wanted to look inside.
You can go first.
Thanks. So the gloves. All the black. That's not a work thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too. You should cover your mouth when you yawn.
Like you cover your eye when you want to look cool? I shouldn't let her get to me, but I had a late night. Emma and I were at the courthouse until well into the morning, poring over the data Serra had taken off David's computer. We both knew it all to be inadmissible, of course, but neither of us wanted to miss a hint of that the other might find. There were a few years' worth of camera footage files we couldn't afford the time to watch, let alone decrypt. Alongside thousands of technical documents detailing David's various intellectual properties. As far as I could tell, none of it was relevant, let alone compelling enough to matter to Barrows or the other powers that be. As usual, Emma wasn't exactly an open book, but it did seem like she was making bored yawns, not thoughtful ones. I like how Morgan could tell the difference. Her eyes only ever lit up when she saw Serra enter the panic room.
Basement footage. Footage recovered from cameras David Ashore secretly installed in his basement shows Serra handing David the red plastic cups that he and Young would drink from at 7:38 p.m.
How would she know that the one that if she handed both of them to him, how would she know that the one David poured into would be his?
Oh, yeah. That
Wouldn't
would
David
be...
and what is the accusation? That she put it in the cup beforehand and then David took the cup, saw something sloshing in the bottom and thought, fuck it. Right? Maybe it maybe it doesn't have to be so much as to be noticeable, but still. And when she saw that she was holding what she was holding when she left, if she wanted this room searched, it could only be for... So where's this journal supposed to be?
Rockford didn't say. I'll just have to search the place top to bottom.
Mostly bottom with your height. Tops of some of these shelves,
Sure, and you can look up your own app.
100%. But I get it.
Then why not just let me say it?
There's an easel in here? I don't think we saw that last time, did we?
Yeah, I didn't notice it.
I think the angle kind of cut it off. An easel is doing artwork. There's a chest box. Let's look at all of our hoverables.
Spin the chessboard around.
Yep. Oh, something to read. Here we go. This data pad is displaying a news article from last week. Guess that confirms he was coming and going here fairly regularly.
Right to Repair loses latest appeal. A higher court judge this week shot down for the 5th time an appeal by the Consumer Rights Alliance on their famously divisive Right to Repair lawsuit. Once again signaling the state's intent that corporations remain in control of their legally protected intellectual property. Obviously, we're disappointed, said Miles Erkman, head of legal counsel for the CRA. But we've no intention of giving up the fight. People used to be able to fix things when they broke, so long as they were willing to set aside an afternoon toward the task. Now trying to patch up your own property with your own tools is a finable offense, just because the state has had lobbyists whispering in its ear for far too long. Erkman's legal strategy remains contentious, and in the eyes of most legal scholars, generally unfounded. The Emergency Industry Acquisitions Act, passed in 2057, guarantees the holder of an intellectual property patent certain state-provided protections against tampering and reproduction, and outlines fees for those who would violate said IP. The fact that ownership of IPs has shifted from individuals in the state towards corporate entities since the Act's passing means little in the eyes of the law. If Mr. Erkman and the CRA have a
Well, it won't let me scroll like I normally do on this one, sorry.
If Mr. Erkman and the CRA have a problem with intellectual property law, they should take it up with their representatives in the legislature. The higher courts are a place for laws to be applied, not rewritten, and so long as journalism that refuses to buckle to foreign actors trying to stoke anti-capitalist sentiment can't be found just anywhere. Subscribe now at the link below to read articles like this every day forever, as long as your card remains on file.
Right to Repair. Didn't realize anyone was still fighting that particular fight. Seems like the courts have made their opinion on the matter very clear. So for the foreseeable future, corporations can look forward to more sales.
Yeah.
More sales than ever. Any phone that gets scratched, every widget that breaks, they gotta sell us the replacement. There'll always be a gray market of hermits willing to risk some skin on reselling patched up tech, but the vast majority of people will just click that purchase button, assuming they don't just have it on auto. Well, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But also makes the notion that... I wonder if that also then coincides with a lot of people learning how to build more of their own tech from the ground up, so as to get around that. Or if there's like a niche market of like people selling more expensive but non-IP protected.
I bet it doesn't. How are you gonna do a semiconductor fab on your own?
Yeah, that's true. Buy them in bulk. A toy car? No, it's too detailed and boring. Oh, I was looking at the chess set, not the toy car. Must be some kind of model kit or replica. I remember when I was so much younger, my dad tried to get me into model cars.
I was into... Oh. Continue your story. Continue your story.
Yeah, we tried a couple times and it was fun, but it was never really my cup of tea. It was too... part of it wanted to scratch that same kind of Lego itch, but it was too messy and permanent to really get there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What about you?
I was into model airplanes as a kid. And in particular, I think he was my great uncle on my mom's side was a former aerospace engineer or something that had like his house just chock full of historical aircraft models that he had built. And so it was really cool when he'd come over to my grandpa's place and like bring a model and we'd build it together. And I thought that was the coolest.
Yeah, like I definitely see why people enjoy it, right? It's a very fun and kind of rewarding activity. It's just for the young me who liked it when things fit into their places, you know, it was a harder thing. It was a harder sell. I think it's the kind of thing where like I'd be willing to try it again at some point in the future with a more open mind this time, and maybe with more gunpla.
I think one of my favorite things, and the one I remember the most from my childhood, was one summer when we came up to visit. We decided to have a battle for who could build the biggest working paper airplane.
Oh.
Which he brought like fucking like architecture drafting paper.
I was going to say either that or butcher's roll, right?
Yeah, and sculpted it into a freaking massive one that could just fly the length of the family property from the top of the hill all the way down into the forest and into the next person's property, because it's just a gigantic glider that's like several feet across.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's like, heck yeah, dominating the kids at the paper airplane contest with your superior engineering knowledge. That's how you do it.
I'm sure those kids had fun. I mean, you're telling the story, right?
Yeah.
Strange. David didn't like driving. Why keep a model of some random sports car?
Ugh.
Something caught your throat, detective?
It's not some random sports car. It's a Lawrence Adamant.
Believe it or not, I am not familiar, detective.
The last great fossil fuel automotive experience the world will ever see. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.43 seconds. They set those records without computational assistance.
Is that a big deal?
It was unheard of even back in the 50s. This wasn't some design competition test car with a 2-liter tank, mind you. This was a vehicle you could own and drive. Human engineering, pure horsepower, and manual transmission, thank God.
I didn't take Reyes for a fucking car dork.
When they first left the production line...
This conversation's like quicksand, killing me in the most boring way possible. Yeah, so I guess David didn't entirely agree with you since we're looking at a model of it, when he could have easily have just bought one.
Or maybe your friend understood that a beauty like that deserves to be driven on streets where people can see it, instead of gathering dust in some rich guy's basement.
Like the car he has outside? I think she's actually upset. Also interesting that fossil fuel cars still do exist, even if they seem to be like a luxury product now.
Well, that was the last great one, so seems they're not in production anymore.
Well, last great, not necessarily last.
True, maybe they make them still, but they're shitty now.
I mean, everyone's gonna hate on the new ones, right? Are these drawers or just panels? Maybe if I, Does that sound hollow to you?
What? I don't know, I'm not a carpenter.
I don't see any handles anywhere. No hidden pressure plates or switches. What the hell am I saying? I'm not a carpenter either. I wouldn't recognize a secret button if it was slathered in yellow paint. Alright, let's look at this. Reyes is searching the cabinets now, same ones I found Sarah's papers in. I doubt I missed anything, but...
Hey, what are you... Do you mind?
Just trying to help.
I've got spam in my junk folder that's more helpful than you are.
Didn't spot anything that I missed yesterday among the cabinets. Better check elsewhere. Sarah should have pulled everything of note off the computer, but I've looked everywhere else already. Might as well try.
What are you expecting to find? Solitaire?
Does this computer seem, normal to you?
Exceedingly so, yeah. Why?
David was a programmer, but this looks consumer grade. Fresh off the shelf. Would the Dr. David Ashore use a bog standard operating system on his most private hidden computer?
He uses Arch, by the way.
What is... For me? For me? What is Arch?
It's a distribution of Linux that's popular amongst the hobbyists who are very into it and enjoy bragging about their systems. It tends to be heavier on manual configuration and excellent for tweaking, and also has a very fast software update cycle, so you're always on the cutting edge, at the expense of being a bit more unstable and a bit more manually configured. It's a meme in the software engineering and OS communities that everyone who uses it will let you know that they do so.
I see.
And yes,
I see.
at one point I did used to use a spin-off of this distro, and I don't anymore.
Wow. Wow, you went mainstream.
I did exactly that. I went mainstream because I was tired of spending effort on maintaining the thing, and would rather just have the thing work, even if it wasn't 100% what I wanted.
That's fair enough. There's a trash bin on the desktop. It's a pretty low-tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents.
Are you seriously going to try and recover lost files, Granny?
Unlike cops, I don't get paid overtime, so yes, I sometimes try things instead of standing around. There's a text file in here, but it's 0 bytes? Maybe there's information in the metadata. Shh, I double-clicked.
What was that?
It came from under the... Did you see behind them? Under the desk.
I didn't. What?
I thought the wall behind them rolled up. A small drawer popped out, and inside it... a well-worn journal.
Does it have his name on it?
No. Guess it belongs to the android.
Do you recognize his handwriting or not?
Neat, even words, small lettering with minimal punctuation. Lots of line breaks, haphazard use of capitalization. The penmanship of a coder. First entries dated back in grad school before he even started with Noble. Yeah, it's his.
So may I?
Only because you asked so politely.
Full scan, stream it to WorkNet, high fidelity, legibility, frame by frame.
Voice commands. She's flipping through the pages pretty damn fast. What are you?
This part takes concentration. Okay, here.
What, you're just giving it to me?
I already got our copy. Techs are probably already analyzing it as we speak. Ow! Shit, my head!
I can't exactly rip the journal out of her hands while she's curled over in agony. As much as I would enjoy it. Guess I could always enjoy watching her writhe instead. So, how long's it been?
2 months or so.
And still that sensitive, huh? So the eye patch really doesn't block your sight.
Only a little bit. Like wearing sunglasses after getting your pupils dilated. Except it lasts months instead of hours.
Wait, but if you can see through an eye patch, then does closing your eye even do anything?
Not much on its own, but in combination with the patch, it's not so bad. Lucky I was so exhausted after the surgery, otherwise I might not have slept at all those first 48.
Good God. So is your eye going to get weaker over time?
No, more like my brain gets better at ignoring it. Mind over matter. Soon enough, I'll be able to close my eye and see all that extraneous data as... you know, whatever the hell those floaty, blurry things are that you never think about.
Gross. Thank you for the reminder. And the voice commands?
Training wheels until I can do it with eye muscles alone.
You just have to keep practicing, huh?
Yep, like trying to play piano with your tailbone muscles.
There's no such thing as tailbone muscles.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it so goddamn hard.
You don't ever regret it?
I don't know, not really, I think.
I think. Hard to admit you've got buyer's remorse after trading over your literal pound of flesh.
Never thought about it, but people used to say I had my dad's eyes. Ow. Now I've got one less of them.
You know, I read a story once where people had to do that and replace them with little AI balls.
Here, take the journal and go find an elective surgeon to upsell you if you're that curious. I need to get back to work.
A surprisingly hasty retreat. But now I'm free to read this over with some privacy. From the top, then. Grad school. Today was a bad day. Errors in lines 21165 through 26643. Oh, this is this journal. Go
Somewhere in there, 5,000 lines. It worked yesterday. I don't want to look at another screen for the rest of my life. Feels nice to put pencil to paper again after who knows how long. But my handwriting's gotten terrible.
This is too far back to be relevant. Okay, these dates here would be from when he started his career with Noble. A lot of this isn't even really writing. Seems like snippets of code or an internal monologue so close to code that I can't follow it. And a lot of entries about his unintentional Casanova-ing.
Hit a wall because someone thought it was a good idea to steal API instead of just buying it. Helen says I can't call it stealing, but that's what it is. She's right, as she always is with company stuff. But it's still idiotic, small people with short sight who only know how to be cheap and have no idea how to be inventive. New route for the meshing issue, though, good potential. Got approval from the big mean bastard who lives overseas. BMBLO? Bumblo? Helen said we'll have to make the same pitch a dozen more times next week, but it's all for show. Fine by me, already got our win. Toasted each other over cheap vodka and with cheaper office supply cups.
This is the story that Young told me.
Western Branch's nerve analogs are finally showing potential. At their pace, it could even be profitable sometime before the heat death of the universe. Too damn big, practically tentacles, should at least be hairs. A squid. Evolution can do their job better. Colette came into work for what I thought was a late lunch date. I didn't know her voice could get that loud. People were staring. Red said that she must have been upset for a long goddamn time to blow up that big. Her texts were always sweet, I had no idea.
Upset? Colette wrote man whore in lipstick across your office door. Imagine if you had actually been cheating on her instead of just being forgetful.
The thing about Red is that if you want to know what she's thinking, you have to stop paying attention. Ignore her body language and her posture and the words she's saying and the smirk on her lips. Ignore everything except her eyes. If you can do that, every now and then you'll catch a glimpse of how she's really feeling. Master this one weird trick and you too can tell when Morgan's trying really hard not to laugh at the word man whore.
It was funny. Sue me, you dead bastard. Wait, this is... I know this date.
I'm never driving anywhere again, never leaving home again. He was waiting outside the parking garage with the bottle. I couldn't smell anything, couldn't hear anything. Locked myself in my car and filed another report with another cop. It soaked into the seat. Ruined it. I want to burn the whole car. I don't want to think about what it did to my clothes. I want to burn them too. I don't want to think about how long it was on my skin. I was in the shower so long I felt red and raw when I got out. I don't want to think about these stupid people and their small, cruel lives ever again. I want to be invisible. Red didn't ask why I wanted to spend the night. She also didn't ask why I had clearly packed a bag big enough for a week. She's kind like that. Kind by omission. I don't have a kind bone in my body, but I can at least try to pay attention. I was paying close attention to her eyes when she opened the door and saw what a mess I was. But whatever she was feeling, it wasn't something I recognized.
Kind people don't read their friends' diaries, David. The next chunk of pages are all technical, nothing biographical, but the handwriting, the spacing, it's cleaner, more consistent. Here's something I can parse.
Feels like pure freedom working outside the box. Tess is suffocating, but you'd never know. Chronic malnutrition of a coder's best instincts, like a kid again, putting blocks together. Making things. Making things, not products. There's nothing profitable about any of this. If I'm being honest, this is just play.
And he follows that up with more coder brain crap. But the handwriting is still lighter. Like he really was having fun.
Humility is the mother of all invention. Or something like that. Feels like I might be paraphrasing someone else poorly, but that's part of this new approach. When it comes to coding, you never want to waste time trying to be smart. Either be smart, period, or copy from someone else who is. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Copying. Noble's rivals would never miss the chance to accuse them of intellectual theft. Did he plagiarize code for the Animate 16? Feels like that wouldn't have gone undiscovered, so what is he talking about? Oh, hold on, this page is bent slightly, like it was being looked at recently. And the last person to read this diary would be Serra.
Baby steps today, literally. I'll never put one foot in front of the other the same again. Everything's an achievement all of a sudden. Seeing her struggle, seeing her vulnerable. It's like everything's a miracle. The muscle rigging is perfect. Not intended behavior since it's too perfect, but that's been happening more and more. The kinetics are multiplicative, not additive. Serra maxed out every machine I bought. Now I got a bunch of exercise equipment she's too strong for and I don't have time for.
Just so we were right about that.
Maybe I spoiled the results by watching her do the tests. She kept looking back at me and puffing her chest out. I should be more discreet if I want to see her normative range.
So the cameras in the basement were only hidden from Serra, just so that his observation wouldn't muddle test results? He's using she and her in these passages. It doesn't actually mean anything. Out in the real world, people use all kinds of pronouns interchangeably for ads, and they never object. But it could be argued that it's odd for Dr. David Ashore, to have any kind of attachment to a single android when he programmed millions of them. And there is a lot of attachment in these pages.
Sarah's burning through the public domain at a prodigious pace, especially on Popcorn Friday nights. I asked her why they're called Popcorn Friday nights when she doesn't eat popcorn. The event runs from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., and she also watches movies every other night. But she just did that pout she does, which is unfortunately very convincing. Maybe I'm a bad parent letting TV rot her brain. If I were a good parent, I'd probably let her see me reading. But I guess I'd actually have to get back into reading, so I asked her if she ever fast-forwarded the movies since she can process them fast enough to keep up. She looked at me like I was an idiot, which no one's done in a long time.
Without proper pacing, you can't appreciate the cinematography.
Big pause.
Don't you know that, Father?
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Sarah spent a long while this morning explaining to me how important it was that she develop her senses. This was in preparation for her real argument, which was that she should be allowed to try booze. She can't get drunk. I'm almost certain she can't get drunk, but she does seem to like tasting the stuff. She tried to sound like some old sommelier, but it was just bottom shelf vodka. I started laughing at her, and she laughed too. Her laugh. She can't fake a laugh to save her life, but her actual laugh is incredible. She stopped playing chess a while back. I assumed she had just gotten tired of winning. But then today she told me she just prefers other games. She has preferences, and they're not the same as mine. I found her in the lab playing some kind of online racing game on the monitor I used to debug vestibular coordination. She wasn't smiling. Her brow was furrowed, and she was biting her lip and leaning in tandem with her character on the screen. When I tried to talk to her, she answered, but she was curt and distracted. I think she was having her first losing tantrum.
Damn it, David, there's hundreds of pages like this. You can't let the androids play Mario Kart. Calling her his daughter, talking about her smile, treating her like a person? Can hear her closing argument already. Dr. Ashore was a lonely, troubled genius with a known history of relationship problems, who built out of code and metal a family member that couldn't fathom the idea of leaving him. He made a doll, and he made it more and more human until it became so lifelike that it no longer had to do what he told it to. Like love him. What about the very last entry? It's dated Thursday, the day before he died.
Losing it, I think. Can't ask for help, so hard to say, but I think it's over. Have to talk to her ASAP. She needs to...
That's it? That's the last entry? Suppose it could be worse. Nothing in here that'll explicitly call Sarah an AI. Nothing so inflammatory that reading it would spur her to murder, right? Except Sarah's a machine. She can understand David's code better than anyone. All those technical portions I couldn't understand? If she read this whole diary front to back... Wait, the back. Inside the back portion, there's a cover that is a portion that's shimmering like some kind of scanner. Or a fingerprint reader. My thumb worked for Sarah, so... Did it work? Oh, that's my phone. New device requesting permissions to share an audio file. And we'll have to find out what that is next time. Holy shit, we went longer than I thought this time. Oh, baby. I'm having a great time here.
Yeah.
I am loving this so much. I hope you're all excited to see more, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.